Welcome back. Michael O'Leary made Ryanair a success based on a simple business model. Low fares, quick 25-minute turnarounds and deals with secondary airports like Stansted in the UK and Charleroi in Brussels. An average Ryanair ticket costs $55 compared to its competitor EasyJet at $80. O'Leary's obsession with cost-cutting is legendary. Seats on his aircraft don't recline, some of them don't have window blinds, and his cabin crew, they have to buy their own uniforms. And as you can see, his offices aren't exactly luxurious. You stop people from charging their mobile phones in the office, for instance. I mean, it's not just being vindictive and penny pinching.
No, but it's a great story. That story came out where somebody leaked that story, some PR company, I think, about 5 or 10 years. I think for one of our competitors running around, Ryanair bans people charging their mobile phones. In actual fact, we don't. But it makes for such a great story about being kind of ruthless on cost. When it came back, we said, yeah, absolutely, we do. So we run around the place policing it. Like, you can walk down here this morning, you'll find people charging their mobile phones. Some things are just too small to worry about. But if it helps to kind of either both internally within the company and externally create a culture or convey an impression of a company that's ruthlessly focused on every little cent of spending, then frankly we would own up to it, even if we're not guilty of it. I think it's important. I mean, the difference between Ryanair and almost every other airline in Europe is our focus in the next 5 years to be flying more and more passengers around for free, but we must reduce our costs to do it.
You're always creating noise, aren't you?
We're always trying to create noise. I mean, but in some cases, it's like most other companies would respond very defensively to that. They'd be rushing out saying, no, we don't do this, no, we don't do that. I mean, you see the number of companies that come up with all the same old nonsense. You know, our customers are our most important asset, or our people are our most important asset. We think our customers are pretty important. But when our customers are wrong, then we're not shy about telling them they're wrong. If you show up late for the flight, you're not getting on board the flight. If you're looking for a refund of a non-refundable flight, the answer is no, go away. So I think we have to have a robust relationship with our customers and with our people. We look after them very well. Our customers will be guaranteed the lowest fares, on-time flights, brand new aircraft. Our people, you're going to get well paid, but we expect you to be productive. But we're not going to fall for any of this old management bullshit or MBA rubbish about cliched concerns for passengers or for our people. We think we run a very sensible business. We run it sensibly, but we're not shy about telling a passenger they're wrong if they're wrong. There you can be rest assured they're not shy about telling us we're wrong when we are wrong, and we are occasionally wrong. But when it comes to allegations that his airline is a major polluter, O'Leary says it's the environmentalists who've got it wrong.
How can you say you're the most green airline going?
Because we are.
How?
We operate the newest fleet of aircraft, and we operate with if you like, the highest load factors. So for every flight we operate, we carry far more passengers than any other airline. We operate that flight on the brand new Boeing 737-800, which has the lowest noise, fuel and CO2 emissions of any of the modern narrow-body aircraft. And it is, don't take our word for it, I mean, True Cost have done these surveys in the UK. The Dutch Consumer Organisation, which, let's face it, wouldn't be a great friend of Ryanair or a supporter of Ryanair's, has already confirmed that we are Europe's greenest, cleanest airline.
Do you like environmentalists?
I like environmentalists who tell the truth. I dislike and disabuse environmentalists who lie. And there's an awful lot of lying going on in the environmental movement. They like to target the airline industry as being the cause of climate change, and therefore taxing air travel will be the solution to it, of course, which is complete bloody nonsense.
What about biofuels? Would you ever do anything with that? Would you ever get involved with some of these programs that some airlines are getting involved with? Is Shell, Virgin, let's say also Boeing, all in the mix?
I can think of the greatest incentive for the airline industry, not just Ryanair, the entire industry, to get involved in biofuels, to reduce our emissions, is the fact that oil is at $95 a barrel. It now accounts for 40% of our total cost. Every airline I know in the world we would stand on our heads if we could find a way of burning less fuel. Not because we're necessarily pro as an environmental measure, simply as a cost reduction exercise.
Brash, arrogant, and occasionally downright rude. Those are just some of the ways that Michael O'Leary's been described.
Well, I think shy and retiring is probably closer to him than arrogant and brash. No, Michael has his own style. He's a very private person.
Michael O'Leary opens up about his future plans when, for the record, returns.
Merci.
Welcome back. Michael O'Leary is famous for his contentious personality and his ability to provoke. But underneath it all lies a razor-sharp wit and a healthy sense of humour. He's wrestled with vampires. mugged it up as a matador, and taken the air out of the competition. All in the name of promoting the Ryanair brand. But while he appears to love the camera, he's similarly loath to discuss his private life or his future plans.
Hey, what makes you tick?
The Lord alone knows. I mean, I'm not interested in myself, and I'm not interested in all this psychoanalytical waffle. So, you know, what makes me tick? Wine and the pursuit of wine, money, wine and the pursuit of loose women. I mean, you know, I've been very fortunate in the last 10 years, so I've made a lot of money out of my investment in Ryanair. So money is no longer the driving force for me. I mean, I don't come to work in the morning because I need to put food on the table for my family. I come to work in Ryanair because it's fun. We have a very young team of people here. We are transforming Europe, the European airline industry, and that's very unusual for an Irish company to be able to do that. I mean, I know of very few other Irish companies that are out there world leaders in their field. We are. And it's fun to go and kick the crap out of British Airways or to challenge the European Commission because they're politically corrupt. I think it's an interesting way to spend your day. Far better than, you know, pouncing around on a beach somewhere.
Surely not.
Yes, definitely.
June 2006, you told the Times that you were planning to retire in 2008.
No, I've never actually put a specific retirement date out there. What I generally do is I say, look, I expect to be gone sometime in the next 2 or 3 years. And I think that's a realistic assumption. I think it's much more, I mean, if you ask me now, would I still expect to be here at the end of 2010? I think no, I think I am coming to the end of my tenure here. Partly because I think we've conquered a lot of the hills. We are now Europe's largest international airline. We've very good management team here under me, and I think they want to see progression for themselves. And I think it's time, you know, in the next year or two. I think if you could tell me tomorrow, if I could sort out the Stansted monopoly in the second terminal, if we could break up the Dublin Airport monopoly, and if I could overturn the European Commission's politically inept decision on the Aer Lingus acquisition, I think then I'd be happy to go. I don't think there's anything left to do.
That's going to be 2020 before that happens.
But I mean, probably trying to get the European Commission into court would take a bit longer because they're remarkably reluctant to go to court on the issue. It will happen. I think it'll happen in the next 2 or 3 years, and then I'd like to see the management here take the company on for the next 10 years. I've had my stint. I think it's time to go.
What would you do afterwards? Wouldn't you be bored?
No idea. I mean, there'd be plenty to do. Lots of things to do. But I mean, our focus has always been. I think one of the great strengths of Ryanair is we've been a very disciplined management team. So we don't allow people to get involved in outside investments or outside companies or largely outside interests. I honestly don't know. What I'd like to do. I mean, by 2010.
Horses?
I mean, I keep a couple of horses. I have a couple of race horses, but that's kind of chump change. It's not what you would do with your life. I mean, I don't know much. I don't know enough about them to be able to train them or ride them or anything like that. So, no, I'd like to take maybe 6 months out, spend some time with the family, and then maybe come back and have a look. I mean, at that stage, I'll still only be 50 years of age. I'd like to go and do something else for the next 10 years.
Anything keep you up at night?
My wife and 2 young children.
O'Leary's grand plan is to double the size of the airline by 2012. With so much to do, don't be surprised to see him in the pilot seat for some years to come. I'm Rashad Salamat, and that's this edition of For the Record. Thanks for watching.